Hey, what is up, everyone? This is Zach, aka Keats39 here, bringing you another NFL Showdown. Um, Pretty straightforward slate here, actually. At least, the build seems pretty easy. I'm sure there are a couple decisions that do make it a little tough. I'm going to apologize if there's background noise. I'm refilming this because of the news that broke this morning that I was not expecting. I had already filmed this, but I fully expected Alvin Kamara to play in this game. But when you look, not going to be able to play. So, and Mark Ingram is. So that is like massive, massive news on the slate. I was considering Kamara kind of a lock, as the Dallas side is a little tougher. But with that being said, like Mark Ingram is 100% a lock. For some reason, they priced him down all the way. His captain price, I was going to say he's at 5K somewhere. Yeah, right here. Priced at 5K on the dot. Like he was massive, massive when playing without Kamara. So we'll go ahead and start with that side. So this is a kind of a fun slate because we're going to see a lot of stuff that we haven't seen the last couple of weeks. A lot of talk. So we know Kamara is not going to play. So Reds, we know Taysom Hill is going to start. There's been a lot of buzz on this because Taysom Hill got that massive contract, potentially a lot of ifs in there, but going to get paid a lot. And he hasn't been playing he hasn't even been doing like what he normally does, like playing tight end and stuff. Just haven't really seen him on the field. Like didn't even see the field last week at all. A single snap was all Trevor Siemian. Definitely big news for the whole Saints side of the ball. We know Taysom Hill, very, very goal line stealing type of guy. So that does hurt Kamara. Like if Kamara was priced at, Mark Ingram was priced at like 9K, like he should be, then you could talk about a fade. But at this price, no. But Taysom Hill is one of the top captain option on the slate. We know how much he likes to run. Wonder if but last year he was really good as a fantasy quarterback when he was in. So really like Taysom Hill, especially in a game that Dallas's defense isn't as bad as it was last year, but they do give up points still. They're way better against the run. I'm not that concerned about it. Different type of game plan for him. I'm not worried about it for. I'll get to marking, but not worried about it for him either because he's a very good pass catcher as well. But actually, I guess I'll just go right to Mark Ingram because the thing about the Saints is those are really the only two guys I have interest in as like cash plays. When you look at the snap counts, we'll look at Mark Ingram's quick. The 2 games without Alvin Kamara with him there. 85% snaps 1 week, 72%, and that was in a terrible game flow game that they're getting smacked in. So he's going to play a lot, especially if you saw last week. Tony Jones Jr. Was really, really bad. It was really good in the preseason. But I mean, last week was a pretty tough matchup and really had no chance against Buffalo. But it didn't help his case to like get extra snaps. So like, wouldn't be surprised if it's just Ty Montgomery, which I mean. I bet you, I don't know how many snaps were, it doesn't say here, were running back, but I bet you I actually could probably calculate here. 51% snaps, 37. Yeah, so probably almost all of his snaps last week are at running back. So wouldn't be surprised if like he's like the 2-minute drill and the change of pace back and not Tony Jones Jr. So really like Mark Ingram here. Can't say that enough. Especially at 5K, he's probably one of the top. He might be the top captain option tonight as well. So then you get into the wide receivers. Traquan Smith, very clearly the wide receiver 1 in snap counts. Marquise Callaway, very clearly number 2. This is kind of surprising. I really don't like Lil Jordan Humphrey as a player. He's just doesn't grade very well. He's a big guy though. So like we saw him score a touchdown 2 weeks ago. He had a big play last week too, so like you can definitely do worse. Deontay Harris is like one of my favorite players. Not really a receiver type. I love playing him with Drew Brees when they were depleted. Not the same with Taysom Hill, but he's a gadget guy. He's like one of the best returners in the league, really good in open space. So like they'll design some plays with him, but probably overpriced for a guy like that. Then Kenny Stills getting 37%. That's kind of surprising. I guess you could throw dart, but no thanks. Yeah, so that's where we're at on this side of the ball. Let me turn off the Traquan Smith 5.6, definitely in play. We know how good he grades out. He's been good this year. 14, 11, 7, 8, 12. Like he's not like some alpha number one wide receiver, but at 5.6K, you definitely can do worse. Definitely gets a downgrade with Taysom playing quarterback. But honestly, probably not that big of one. Of course, someone has to run the sweeper in the background. So sorry about that. But continuing, Traquan Smith, love him. Marquise Callaway's probably a little overpriced. I'd rather save the 800. Especially they have very, very similar game logs. So yeah, just save the 800. GPP though, Marquise Callaway is a very, very talented receiver. Just not really meant to play with Taysom Hill. So definitely GPP. I'd rather play the Bill Mayer or Brett Mayer over Deontay Harris. Ty Montgomery, I think, is interesting at 3K. We saw him catch 5 passes last week. I'd probably guess snap counts goes down to like 25 to 30. But again, they could be trailing. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he got snaps at the end of the game. So then this is where you could get some value. Juwan Johnson did play 42% of snaps last week, led the team. And he's priced at 1.4. Didn't see a target. But we know how big he is, and he is a very good receiving tight end. So the game that they could be trailing, I do like the idea of playing him and trying to just go for a touchdown from that 1.4K guy, and maybe even 2, like we've seen it before. Nick Vannett caught a touchdown, but he's priced up. Garrett Griffin saw 32% of snaps. Yeah, like you can play him. Just don't have very much interest. But like if you absolutely need a $200 punt, he's the best from this team. Like I'd even take him over Kenny Stills just because there's a way better chance of him scoring a touchdown. I guess you could take a chance on Tony Jones. Like we saw him being the 1B the week 1 with Kamara and no Mark Ingram, but yeah, no, not really have interest there. But definitely 800 is like you're fine playing. Over to the Dallas side, this side of the ball is very difficult too, because I was not expecting Amari Cooper playing this one. He is playing. So probably going to go back to like the week 1 type stuff where the tough thing with Dallas is I was hoping Cooper didn't play because then we get CD Lamb in the slot for 100% of the snaps with Cedric Wilson out, and then you get another $200 punt with Dallas. With him in, it really makes it clutter. Dallas is really tough because we got all the Zeke news on how he's going to be limited. Then Jerry Jones comes out and says he's not going to be. My stance on that, I think I've covered 25 Cowboys games. It's the same every time. I think Tony Pollard's better than Zeke at this point in his career. Zeke's a better like workload guy. Like he can take a beating. He's a big, strong running back, pass block with probably maybe the best in the league as a running back. But Tony Pollard is so dynamic with the ball in his hands. We saw it last week. He was awesome against Vegas. So yeah, like I prefer, like if you look at the snap counts last week for them, 64 to 42. Like I think that's very fair again. I'll say it's very tough to play Tony Pollard on a 40% snap share at 8K. So I don't really have a strong feeling on that. Like I don't want to pay 10.8 for Zeke either. I think I'm going with like Dak and CD are my 2 favorite on this team. The tough thing is, like I said, I really want to see CD to play in a slot. It's possible that Marshawn Lattimore just shadows CD. Like I don't think that's out of play with Cooper all jacked up, CD being on the upcoming. So yeah, I prefer CD because I do think he probably plays more in the slot. But like the beginning of the year, they were kind of it's Gallup 100% on the outside, and then those 2 just kind of flip flopping in and out from the slot. So I do like both, but I also like Cooper or CD more because they said that like Mark Cooper came in and like still wasn't feeling right. So I think it says somewhere in there that like he could see somewhat limited snaps. Um, don't know to buy that or not, but like 8.6K is a pretty good price for Coop. I just don't. It's just tough. So yeah, like those are definitely. You have two big question marks in Zeke and Cooper. The cash play is obviously Dak and CD. I even like Dalton Schultz. Like he won me a lot of money last week on Thanksgiving. Saved me. Uh, Only had 3 for 46 and a touchdown, but 7 targets. Just runs over the middle of the field and gets those high percentage targets, and I love that. Although I'll also say 7.6 is a lot for him too. Gallup played really well last week in the wide receiver one role. I was kind of surprised. Yeah, not surprised, but did a little better than I expected him to. I can't pay 6.8 for him. Like I'd rather play Pollard than him. I'd rather play Schultz than him. But for GPP, he is a very talented receiver. Could easily catch a touchdown here. We know that Cedric Wilson, so I'd guess that Noah Brown runs as the wide receiver 4 and probably plays a fair amount of snaps. I think he's like in play as a punt. I'm just not a Noah Brown fan, so I'm gonna pass. Love Greg the Leg, obviously. Sean McKeon caught a touchdown last week. At 1K, he's in play, like he's catching passes, playing in that Blake Jarwin role. I shouldn't say that because he's definitely not playing that role, but playing as that tight end too. So it just kind of makes it easy. Like the build on this one is very, very simple, like especially cash. Like you're gonna captain. There's only 5 captains in play really for me. It's Dak, CD, Taysom, and Mark Ingram. Like that's where I'm looking at. But like when you play Mark Ingram captain, that really opens up so much. Like you can just click CD, Taysom. Then you have 5K, whether you want to go like you can go kicker, Gallup if you want. Leaves you just short of trying to get like Pollard. So, but like even that's a very solid build. Like you're not gonna be upset with this type of build. So like Mark Ingram kind of makes the slate very, very easy in the sense of especially for cash games. But yeah, that's gonna do it. Pretty easy build in this one. An easy GPP pivots too. Like Zeke is gonna go very low owned. It's a bad matchup plus all that news coming out. So like, who says Zeke doesn't go for 2 touchdowns tonight? Like we even saw last week, he wasn't playing at all. Tony Pollard goes down, gets him to the 1. Zeke just checks himself in, gets a 1-yard touchdown, save his game. So, and he catches the ball really well too. Like 6 catches, 336. Like that's a high floor. So even if he does play at 65% snaps, he still very easily can be the leading scorer on the slate. So very easy GPP pivots on the slate too. It's same with Coop. So and make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Later.